It is Friday the 26th of June. Welcome along. I'm Hannah Wise with the latest news headlines from CNN Money Switzerland. Shares in Sulzer took a hit today after the Swiss industrial group said that profits for the first half of the year would be significantly lower than expected. The company said it's taking measures in the energy division to counter the disruption caused by the coronavirus pandemic, and that these restructuring costs would amount to around 60 million Swiss francs. The Swiss government is on a mission to green the country's financial sector and establish it as a hub for sustainability. To do this, the Federal Council has adopted new guidelines and says it will establish a framework for financial services to be further developed before the end of the year. The aim is that it will improve transparency and competitiveness in Switzerland and at the same time make an effective contribution to sustainability through quality of services, information, innovation and pricing. Schindler has come up with a whole new range of technologies for making its lifts and escalators as coronavirus proof as possible. This includes a new app launched today so that people don't have to press lift buttons, UV light technology for killing off germs on handrails, and load detecting technology that can adjust how many people can enter a lift at one time. Well, earlier I spoke to the company's head of Northern and Eastern Europe, that's Paolo Compagna. I am delighted to welcome you, Paolo Compagna, to the CNN Money Switzerland. Today we're talking about Schindler because you've brought out a range of touchless, sanitization, physical distancing innovations, to help boost hygiene and safety in elevators. And my first question to you is, what kind of tech are we talking about here?
Actually, we are talking about innovations we are bringing into our newest products. And this is actually mobile technology. You can actually download as an app on your mobile, as well as air sanitization and UV light clean solutions.
Okay, but so one of the things that you've brought in is this Elevate Me app. Okay, so kind of people can get into the lift and they don't have to touch the buttons.
Yes.
So that they can travel without concern. I mean, how much of this was born out of coronavirus concerns?
Yeah, actually, out of the coronavirus, we got, if you like, a boost into our innovations. Coronavirus was inviting us to accelerate some innovations we were preparing. And for sure, within the last weeks, we could add all these products, namely 8 of them, to our product range.
So you had to kind of mobilize quite quickly during the crisis to seize the opportunity?
For sure. Let's say the change demand of our customers and of all the markets was really inviting us to accelerate our innovation and development in this regard.
I mean, how much concern is there for hygiene in a lift? I mean, how dirty are they?
This is a very good question. Actually, it's very, very dependent also from the part of the world you look at. It's obvious that you might have a big difference between, let's say, North Europe, Central Europe, South Europe, as well as to Asia, Africa, and so on. But overall saying, I think the concerns of our customers are so different, like maybe the situations in the different countries are.
Okay, so what kind of demand then have you had from your customers for this new technology?
The first was that actually many of our customers were asking us to help or to bring solutions to, let's say, minimize concerns of the users to enter physical spaces like an elevator. This, I think, was the first reaction we saw.
And I mean, how many new orders are you actually securing because of this?
I cannot talk now about real numbers, but the demand is increasing as we speak, I have to say, all over the globe these days.
All right. What about the Elevate Me app then? I mean, do you have many downloads? Is it kind of taking off, as it were?
This for sure. We have more digital apps. Also, if you look to the enhanced port technology, so there we also see for those customers and those users also an increased demand.
And my final question is you want to increase space inside the elevator. So how do you do that using technology?
Actually, it's increasing space within the elevator. It's more increasing the availability of the people, or availability of the elevator for the people, and reducing concerns to use the elevators.
Okay, so you can reduce the usage during times of crisis, as we are currently in, for example.
Not reduce the usage of the elevator, but I think in going forward, we will also have to organize to have less people in the same elevator to offer to the users a bigger space.
All right, we'll leave it there. Paola Campagna, thank you very much indeed.
Thank you, Anna.
In other news this Friday, world leaders will launch a $28 billion fundraising call to finance the development and distribution of millions of vaccines and treatments against coronavirus. The World Health Organization initiative, called the ACT Accelerator, was launched back in April to speed up global efforts against the disease. Tomorrow's event will take place online and is being hosted by European Union Commissioner President Ursula von der Leyen. Brazil's state of Sao Paulo has already more COVID-19 cases than all of Italy, and there's no sign now that the upward trend will slow down in the near future. CNN's Shasta Darlington has the story.
Brazil has reported more than 1.2 million cases of COVID-19 and more than 120,000 new cases in the past 3 days alone. The death toll is nearing 55,000 and no signs of peaking. On Thursday, just the state of Sao Paulo surpassed Italy in total coronavirus cases, 248,587. And yet, several cities in Sao Paulo and across Brazil continue to relax restrictions, reopening stores and shopping malls and heading back to offices. Egged on by Brazilian President Jair Bolsonaro, who has repeatedly insisted hunger and unemployment could kill more people than the virus itself. Sao Paulo has even presented its plan for students to start returning to classrooms as of September 8th. Shasta Darlington, CNN, Sao Paulo.
Now, the Geneva-based Colosseum by Quinoa is hoping to take the esports arena by storm, combining the table football game with virtual reality. After launching the prototype in 2018, the company is now ramping up production of its immersive tabletop game. Matt Layton has more.
Frank, you're bringing virtual reality to table football. How is that working out?
It's actually going very successfully because it allows people to come to terms with virtual reality in a very easy way. And it also brings a sociable aspect and a communicative aspect to virtual reality. So we're trying to bring the virtual reality to make it more easily adoptable by the broader masses.
I had a go, and it's very addictive and it's great fun. What's your business model to take advantage of people really liking it?
Well, the business model from a straight commercial point of view is basically trying to sell the product, right, or rent it out, right? Those are the two ways we're going forward in business. But to make it successful, we've tried to put the environment in a way that it's very, very easy for people to play. So there's no learning curve, there's no obstacles, there's no nausea, there's none of the typical obstacles that you find with virtual reality. And in this way, we hope to be able to make it a very comfortable technology for all users from 5 to 85 years old. So virtual reality becomes something natural and normal.
Geneva-based Swiss company, are you rolling out just in Europe or worldwide? What's your plans for expansion?
Europe is our first market that we've been addressing, and we've already delivered to 5 countries in Europe. But there's another couple of countries outside of Europe in the Middle East and in Asia that we're delivering to as well, right? But this is like the first or second versions of the product that's going out there now.
If it's going to be so good, there's clearly going to be lots of competition on the back of it. What's your defense strategy there?
Well, the defense strategy is simply to be able to have a very enriching, compelling experience in the VR environment, which is not easy to develop. You've got to have many years of experience in terms of virtual reality processing, as well as graphic design solutions, which are very, very attractive, and combine them together to get a realistic feel. That's not such an easy thing to do.
Okay.
So I think we're well in advance of the market right now.
And are you going B2B or B2C? What's your rollout strategy going to be? And I believe it's the latest prototype, the real thing, is going to be out soon.
Yes, basically the approach is B2C. We're looking at various companies, either in the entertainment, the event space, which will be wanting to use such a solution. And we're at the version now, which is the industrialized version, which should be going into a mass production form after the summertime.
So initially football, which is a no-brainer because we've all played table football or whatever you want to call it. But I believe you have other quite fun plans to really attract the hockey and the crushed and all sorts of audiences.
Yes, exactly. On the same physical platform, we're going to be downloading new games. The first one is definitely going to be ice hockey because it's very similar in terms of gameplay. And then we're considering other ones which have kind of on this physical platform can be adapted to have a usable, easy to play gameplay. So people do not have any issues starting the game up. And that may be crushed ice, it may be other things. There's many ideas going around, but we'll develop those as we go forward.
Is the marketing model to sell the units, or I believe that once you're actually in the virtual reality, you have banner spaces, you have all sorts of exciting possibilities there?
Yeah, there is a way to be able to monetize advertising in the stadium, the way they do in real football as well. Yeah. So we have banners and basically along the pitch side advertising that we can provide for the users or the operators of the table as well.
I also believe that esports must be on your radar because there's various synergies there.
That's absolutely the case. And we have some of our customers looking into that area now, how they can deploy into esports with basically remote tournaments where in a whole nationwide or citywide, there can be tournaments set up in an esport type environment to play this game because it is a compelling, fun and easy game, which makes it very, very good for esports.
Now, what's your plans in a couple of years' time? Where we're going to see these on every single pub and entertainment venue, and quite a few wealthy people have them at home. Is that your rollout plan?
Well, hopefully, yes. I mean, it will be definitely in the public areas, right? We're looking very much at providing this to as many public areas as we can, especially VR arcades, amusement parks, entertainment areas, or even any type of entertainment facility who wants to offer an extra attraction to their customers. It could be cinemas, bowling alleys. So that's basically the space we're looking at today. And that space will extend because there's very many applications we see coming into play.
Obviously, before COVID, the idea was getting us all together and having a lot of fun together. Can you develop this that now we're not allowed to really be close anymore?
Well, one of the things that we put, which we always had, but now we've emphasized it much more, there's a whole sanitization hygiene approach. In other words, anything that is touchable, especially the headsets, will go through an ultraviolet disinfectation and sanitization process between users. So it will be totally clear of viruses and bacteria. So that's in the process, that's offered as an option, and it definitely should be provided with every product put into place. I think it's absolutely needed in this new coming era, post-coronavirus.
And finally, if I'm good at this, can I be Swiss champion, European champion, world champion? Are we going to have competitive sports here?
Yes, we will be having these type of competitions in Switzerland and all basically in various places over the planet. So I think there will be lots of take up and lots of interest in that going forward.
Well, that's you all up to date this Friday. Remember, you can check out our website for all our coverage. Just head on over to cnnmoney.ch and you can follow us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. Bye-bye.